Hello. What's up? My name's Frazier, and my sign name is Frazier. As I've been learning sign language, it's unearthed the new word of the day, which is deaf. I'm going to define deaf as being both big D and little d deaf. And before we delve right into what deaf really means, I want to give you a quick story which talks about communication and the breakdown of communication. One of my favorite stories from the Bible, it comes from Genesis 11, and it's the story of the Tower of Babel. During the story, this is essentially the story that explains how languages were derived on our planet according to the Bible. In Genesis 11, there was a people who were such on one accord. They had one language and one mission, and their mission was to build a tower to heaven, to reach the heavens, which is where God was. God himself was so impressed by them being on such a one accord with one mission and one language. He caused different languages to form so that they could not communicate effectively, and thus their mission was abandoned. This story, so simple, it shows that when people are on one accord, anything is possible. When the communication is efficient, anything is possible. But when people cannot properly and efficiently communicate, things break down, and ultimately people abandon things and people. So what does deaf mean? Deaf. Most people think of being deaf as little d deaf. There's an audiometric hearing loss, meaning there's a hearing loss that needs correction with a hearing aid. Those type of people are considered hard of hearing, and English is considered their first language. But then there's a separate category of people which are considered big D deaf. Big D deaf individuals, they identify themselves with the deaf community and deaf culture, and they use sign language as their first language. So what's the big deal about deaf culture? Most people, when you're deaf, you live in your own world. You're isolated from people and things around you. When you're being isolated from those people and environments around you, a lot of effects can happen, including depression, including social withdrawal, and higher rates of suicide. As I'm learning sign language, one of the biggest goals is to communicate with as many people as I can, because we know our ultimate goal as human being is communication, to hear and communicate effectively. And when there is a communication breakdown, our ultimate goal as being human is not achieved. So today's word of the day is deaf, both big D and little d.